When I recently came here, a couple of friends asked about my age, and I told them I was 20, and they were surprised. They were like, "Really? You came here all by yourself at 20?" The Netherlands is such a beautiful country. I've had good experiences, and this video is just a reflection on the decision that I made relocating here roughly 2 years ago at the age of 20. I'll be sharing some of the things that I would have done differently or should have done differently. I didn't even come here with Gary, and I'll also be sharing some of the exciting things that I love in the Netherlands. One of the most popular videos currently on my YouTube channel is my relocation playlist, where I shared the different processes involved in relocating, from finding my job, processing my visa, and everything in between. I'll leave a link to the playlist below so you can check it out. But a couple of people got to know me or got introduced to my YouTube channel through one of these videos. In fact, I've actually met some people in person where they see me probably in a store and they're like, "You're Dillion, right? Oh, your relocation videos really helped me." I was interviewing with this company, and from the beginning of the interviews, what I knew was it was a remote opportunity. The last stage of the interview, the recruiter is like, "Oh, by the way, if you want to work remotely, that's fine, but we also have a relocation opportunity if you're interested." And I was like, "Really? You're just telling me this now?" I graduated at 19 and I was already settling into adulthood at 20. Adulthood is such a very difficult career, to be honest. I hope you agree with me. As for relocation opportunities, I definitely was interested in having a relocation opportunity sometime, but I didn't expect that it was something that was going to come as soon as it did. I thought before a company will be willing to sponsor you probably need to have like 4 years of experience, 5 years of experience. And at the time, I had roughly 1 year of experience in my first full-time job. Looking for a relocation opportunity, that wasn't my priority. Then in my first full-time job, I was looking for a new role, and I was looking for remote opportunities online, and I found this company. When I arrived in Netherlands, I had a couple of concerns. The first one was the weather. I remember stepping out of the airport when I arrived. It was super cold, and I was like, "What? How do people live here?" Another concern I had was the food. I was like, "I'm in a new country. What am I going to do about food? How am I going to survive?" And also another concern was, how do I make friends in this new place for somewhere like me who doesn't like going out? And then losing my job. I got laid off from my previous job mid last year. At that point, a lot of things became uncertain. I was 21. One thing that I didn't really factor in before coming here was the fact that I could lose my job. My stay here is based on a work visa, which is sponsored by my employer. And if I don't have an employer anymore, it means I don't have a sponsor, and it means I cannot legally stay here. And these were things that I should have thought about before coming, but I didn't. And then when the layoff hit me, it was like, wow, layoffs are real. Anyways, I have a separate video where I talked about my layoff experience. I'll link it below in the video description. You can check it out if you're interested. So what are some of the things I would have done differently? I think one of the things I would have done differently was probably consider working from home for some months before I finally relocate. This is not something I regret not doing, but spend some time at home, get to save up some more, and then after some months, discuss with them that, okay, I'm ready to relocate now. Another thing I would have done differently was spend more time with my family. When I graduated from school, I started living in Ilorin. For me at that moment, if I wanted to visit my family, it's not like it's easy, but then they are just a couple of cities away. But when I was relocating, I didn't really think about the fact that visiting my family now involves a lot of planning. Financial planning, you have to take days off from the office, you have to put a lot of things into consideration, which is why I also said I should have considered the working from home opportunity for some months so that I can get to spend time with my family before I finally relocate here until the next time I'll be able to come back. I also feel like I should have planned some things better before moving here. I watched some videos about people who have relocated here, some of them from Nigeria. They shared their experiences about the Netherlands, things they liked and things they didn't like. That was the most research that I did. I didn't really make my own research about the place, the kind of foods they have here, the transportation system. I didn't even come here with Gary. I didn't come here with food stuff. I came here mostly on a vibe of I would figure it out. Figuring it out can be good sometimes because there are some plans you cannot make until you've actually relocated. But I think I should have done some other plans before coming here. I remember I was at the Airbnb and I ordered rice or ordered certain foods that I felt I could eat. And when they arrived and I tasted them, I was like, God, how am I going to survive here? What kind of food is this? I also remember my Airbnb host invited me for dinner one time. They served me this soup, and what was the soup? Mushroom soup. And I felt like, why would you make soup out of mushroom? By the way, while I was in Nigeria, I wasn't exposed to a lot of foods. I only ate the things that I knew, and I was scared to try new things out. So maybe mushroom soup is a thing in Nigeria, I don't know. But when I came here, food was a challenge at the very beginning. These were things that I should have planned better, brought some food stuff that I could start with, but I didn't do any of that. I did some cost of living comparisons. There were some websites online where I could do that. Not like I didn't make research at all, but I still believe there were things I could have planned better. Also, I should have mentally prepared myself for cases where I might lose my job. I mean, not like I should hope of losing my job, but I think it's just something that shouldn't have hit me like the way it hit me. When the layoff came, it really shook me. I was like, what? I mean, I've heard of layoff experiences on Twitter, on social media, but this just happened to me. How can I continue staying in this country? I mean, not like I would have the best plans of going around it, but I think in the context of mental preparation, that is something that should have been in place. Apart from the things I would have done differently, there are also a lot of things that I'm excited about. And the first one is the work culture here. I think back in Nigeria, I grew up with this mentality of you live to work. You have to work extra hours. And when I came here, it was quite interesting to see that people here work to live. They work to get paid salaries, good enough salaries or very good salaries, just so they can live. You see a lot of people here taking days off, going on vacations. Those were things that in Nigeria, at least in my experience, they weren't very common. Also, a lot of companies prioritize work-life balance. You're not just here to work, you also have a life, you also have family, you also have other interests. You're also making new friends from different backgrounds. And it's been such a beautiful journey, learning from each other, traveling together to different cities and just doing stuff together. The opportunity I get to travel around. In Nigeria, I wasn't a big fan of traveling around, traveling to another city, traveling to another country in Africa, and there were a couple of reasons for that, one of which was inconvenience. It wasn't very convenient for me to go to whatever city I wanted to go to or to travel out of the country, but since I came here, there is so much convenience in traveling. The next city in the Netherlands is a train or 2 trains away. Going to a neighboring country here is like 2 or 3 trains away. And apart from the convenience in movement, my work visa, the Schengen visa, gives me access to 26 countries here in Europe. I think it's even 27 now. For example, last year I was able to go to Paris, Belgium. This year I was able to go to Luxembourg. Later on this year I'll also be going to Portugal. There are also other things I find exciting about this place, like the language barrier. A lot of people speak English, or at least they are willing to speak English, even though they find Dutch, their native language, more comfortable to speak. Especially in Amsterdam, where there are a lot of internationals or expats, there's a lot of English. Wrapping up this video, what better way to wrap up this video than to share my most favorite thing about the Netherlands and my least favorite thing about the Netherlands. My most favorite thing about the Netherlands is the transportation, and as I mentioned earlier, there's a convenience in transporting between different cities or certain countries. And my least favorite thing about the Netherlands is the housing. Number 1, it's expensive. Number 2, scarce. And then number 3, it is hard to find what you like. You find a house that manages to be in your budget. Even that budget, you had to increase it a bit because you couldn't find something cheaper. And then you finally go to view the house, and the bedroom and the kitchen and everything is just mixed up in a tightly coupled space, and it's still pricey. And the housing is the least thing I like about the Netherlands. Coming here has been a big move. I am super glad for the friendships that I've made, the people who have been able to guide me on this whole adult life and figuring things out. I also miss my family so much, and I can't wait to visit them back again in Nigeria. So if you're also probably someone like me who sees such an opportunity where you can come to the Netherlands or another country at a young age, I think you should probably pick from some of these things I've shared here. Plan better, prepare yourself mentally or financially or whatever. Just prepare yourself for things to expect here. Not everything I share here may apply to you, but I hope there are some things you can pick out. I make a lot of videos about Netherlands on my channel here, so if you've been interested in them, you can also subscribe. And I hope you have found this useful, inspiring, motivating, entertaining, interesting, whatever it is. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please give it a like if you did, and see you in my next video.